Good afternoon, and welcome to another update show. This should be the time that the patch notes, or the update show as you now know it, will be on from now on. So 3 o'clock in the afternoons and Eastern time. Over in Europe, it's in the evening, so it's a bit better over Friday night before you go out and get drinks. That's what you should be looking forward to. On this patch, obviously, we've got plenty to talk about. It's the Divine Dragon patch, first of all. We're going to be having bug fixes, balance, and of course, skins. And part of those skins will be that Bellona Tier 5. So stay tuned for that later on. But here's some of the skins you get to look forward to this week. We start things off with something that you guys have all hoped for a while. Chef Vulcan is finally going to be here with his meatballs and maybe some pizza too. He's been cooking up a storm. I don't know any other puns that I can think of. You've asked for it, you get it. There he is. It's Vulcan. And he makes meatballs. Next up, Midnight Raven Isis. She's off to the Masquerade Ball, and you can be too if you purchase this skin. Yes, I'm in sales mode today, and as you can see, those lovely flavors will help you fly around the map in the most elegant of ways. Finally, in the Isis, we've got Titanium Tracker Jabberlonke. He's very good at tracking titanium, or hopefully stacks of his passive, which are going to be useful for him in this game. This skin will be lovely to look at a little bit later on. Look at that cute little scarf. And on top of that, the Admiral is here. No, it's not Akbar, it's Ao Kwong. He's got himself a skin. He looks almost human in this form as well. We'll see a little bit more of that later on. Last, but certainly not least, we're going to have Heat Sink Pele coming to you guys as well. Yes, that's a visor and some nasty looking blades for her too. And of course, last but not least, like I said earlier, we'll be talking about the Bellona skin. Don't show it yet. I'm going to make you wait. You're going to have to wait for the Bellona skin, okay? That's what needs to happen here. But that's it from me for a minute, because it's the most important part of the show next, which is all about balance, bug fixes, and of course, gods. Let's head over to John Finch and Pop Pop.
Thanks, Cinnamon. It is me, Finch, here. What can only be considered an objective upgrade over Aggro, who normally is the one on this patch notes show. So I expect it'll be a lot better for you all here today. But it's not just me. I am, of course, joined here by Pon Pon. We're going to be going through, not just those bug fixes. We're going through some big balance changes here as well in terms of items. And with gods, the new item y'all already teased. And I'm loving some of these god changes too.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. And we're going to have a little bit of spoiler for some other future stuff too.
That's right. I saw that in there. I was personally very excited. We'll make sure that we at least hint at those for you all coming forward. But first, let's go ahead and start with those bug fixes. First off, fixed an issue where ramp up CC effects were not applying diminishing returns in the intended way.
Yes.
That sounds like a general bug fix, but probably a good thing to fix, right? If CC wasn't applying diminishing returns.
This basically applied to Chronos.
Okay, just Chronos.
So it does affect Baron Somni a little bit as well. Sure. But the ramp up effect is now classified so that it's the type of CC it ramps up to. But that also meant it applied the diminishing returns that those types of effects do. So essentially Chronos was stunning and then stunning. So that actual FOP stun was much shorter than it should have been. So now Chronos players will actually have the intended duration of their stun, and that's going to be fixed for future ramp 2 effects that you might use.
That's a good idea. I mean, I feel like Emilito wasn't that strong on Chronos anyway, right? So let's just give him a little bit of extra love there, but that's not the only thing we're working on for today, Pon Pon. Let's take a look at the UI that we got some adjustments here with as well. Fix an issue where there was a few seconds delay after a time queue finished matchmaking, but before you actually went into the lobby, that was a little bit scary. You thought you were back
like the heart attack.
Thought you're back in the queue again, had to wait again, but that should be fixed. Fix an issue where the Masters dual loading frame was displaying incorrectly. So there's not as many Masters players out there as perhaps I thought, I guess. So that's
the glitchy frames were part of optimization stuff that we were doing that got a little bit haywire, so it's being fixed.
Good, glad that's taken care of. Fix an issue where all team badge content was just showing as trifecta. That's one more that's been adjusted. And fix an issue where ranked quest progress was not being shown, so you should be able to see all that now. So glad we got that taken care of. Yeah, that's pretty
good stuff.
All right, let's go on Classic Joust. Looks like a efficient issue where tower collision would remain even when the towers were destroyed. I know there were some people that were saying, oh, the invisible towers, that sort of thing. I imagine that issue should be taken care of.
There's many tweets about it, but yeah, we fixed it. It's definitely fixed now. The tower will go away when it's supposed to go away.
Okay, good. Everything should be working well. Now you all can go back to just not having fun in that mode because it's annoying. Because the new Joust is better. The new Joust is better.
It has some interesting stuff to it. It's actually been kind of cool to see people kind of relearn relearn the mode.
It is definitely, there's some relearning. Some gods you didn't realize were quite strong on there, I think. So I've had some fun on it there as well, Pon. But Morgan getting a little bit of updates here as well, just in terms of, making sure that everything's working with her. First, the gold gains while transformed should now properly display on the UI. Added some extra functionality to prevent or reduce the chances of the bug occurring where she has no abilities for a short time after transforming as well. So some touches being done here on the Morgan.
Yep. Anytime I can go back and look at Morgan and find any bugs and fix them, it's always a good thing. She's a very complicated goddess. So especially the ability to use your abilities like after you transform, if it's delayed, it feels really, really kind of wonky, and it can also get you killed really quickly. So fixing that is a huge deal.
That's nice. Getting her updated. One more thing I think that was on here was that the fixing issue where the player camera would jump across the map for a brief time when transforming through her ultimate. So glad everything with her should be working as intended, or at least got these things touched up there. So nice to have Morgan looking a little bit better out there on the battleground. But Pawn, it's time to go to items.
Yeah.
And in particular, going to the new item.
Yes, Berserker Shield.
Berserker Shield. I know you all were really excited about this one. We did some spoilers for it. A lot of people, I think, kind of figured out the idea here, but this is the one, it seems like it's going to be kind of that auto attacker's item here, right? Is the one that we're looking for.
Yeah, definitely. And I think before kind of going into the stats it has, just kind of a more holistic approach to these kind of removed items that we've removed from the game, potentially bringing them back in some interesting way. Death Toll is essentially what this item was for basic attack warriors. And the biggest thing that Death Toll kind of caused that created a very difficult balance situation was how early you could get it. And so when we look at to bring kind of these effects back into the game to help those characters that really liked it, but not make sure it's broken in the state it was before, we look to see what's really, really powerful about that. So for example, this is Death Toll. It can be bought super early. Now if you're going to go into it, you're going to have to do kind of a weirder start because it's 1,700 gold. You can't just start with it. Other items like a Golden Bow, which might be the tease.
Oh, yeah.
For example, that item was particularly broken due to how early you could get it, as well as how powerful the effect was with crit, as well as how hunters have used it. So maybe in some capacity we can look at that and try and bring that item back in a way that doesn't cause the break cases that we saw before in the similar manner that we're doing to Berserker Shield.
That's right. So the idea is sort of, we still want that effect. You want to be able to get that sort of play style, but maybe not as easily as before. So it looks like this will be sort of along the same lines as Gladiator Shield, I imagine, with this price point and all this stuff that we'll sort of go through here. So I'll go and talk to you a little bit about it. It is going to be 1,700 gold. You're going to get 25 physical power, 15 physical protection, 15 attack speed, but I really feel like it's all about that passive. Hitting enemy with the basic attack restores 1% health and mana. Basic attacks at all enemies in melee range restore 0.5% health and mana on every enemy after the first. So if they got like the cleave auto, I suppose, when that comes in.
Yep, and it's also a little bit more offensive than Gladiator Shield as well. We have the attack speed, more power instead of protection, so the other way around. And that's also because a lot of those basic attack warriors have kind of more defensive tools already in their kit, and so rather than amplifying that strength they already have, we're shifting it so that they can lean on that strength skillfully and then utilize this item well.
Do you think there's room to put both in there, or would that just be too slow for you?
I think 3,400 gold for not as much sustain as you could through just raw mitigations is going to be rough. You either use one better or the other better.
Sounds like you might end up having to choose which one's going to work out for you better, but the Osiris is out there. Should be, I imagine, a little bit happier with this change coming in there, Pawn. So that's the Berserker Shield. And you teased as well, we might be seeing something along the lines of that Golden Bow, but without the throwing dagger part that was so frustrating, right? So hopefully we'll see that one out there later. But Gem of Isolation also getting touched up a little bit, going to be the next one on here, getting a nerf. So on this one, looks like we're going to change on this one, Pawn. Why'd we go to Gem of Isolation?
So Gem of Isolation is just an item that's very good at amplifying these kind of more tankier mages or the abilities for mages to really kite effectively. It gives them a lot of health in addition to that kiting power. It gives them a lot of power so that they can actually deal damage. So it's kind of this catch-all item that's really utilized well, especially in non-conquest modes. We see this item get picked up very often, utilized very heavily. There's a lot of high frustration characters in those other game modes that really utilize Gem of Isolation well. So we're focusing on what should its strength be, and we think the offensive nature of hitting opponents with your spells to get that utility is really where it's at. The bonus health made players too tanky when they pick this item up, decreasing the health a little bit so players have more counterplay options when trying to deal with someone who has Gem of Isolation.
That's right. It's all about, you should be making some kind of choice there, but you were kind of getting to have all that utility and be pretty tanky too. So just that health decreased from 250 to 200 on Gem of Isolation, but the next one coming up is going to be Mystical Mail, another item that getting a little bit of love, getting buffed here, and Mystical Mail now provides 20% crowd control reduction. So this is just kind of additive on here. Okay, talk to me a little bit about this one.
Yeah, so we see people pick this item up a pretty high amount, not like as most as like other items that we see, but people pick it up. But it doesn't perform that well statistically. So we're looking at a way to kind of bring up its power level overall. And there's things that we've done in the past that result in high frustration. If we increase the damage, it gets very frustrating. If we increase the health it provides and the protections, you become too tanky and you can just run into opponents. If we decrease the price or do any of those other adjustments, it can also cause some more issues. So we decided to actually focus on what it really at its core is trying to do, is give you the tanky stats to get in melee range and stick on someone. And so crowd control reduction to reduce the peel that people can apply to you seems to fit that goal pretty well.
And this is a nice one, too, because crowd control reduction, it is certainly in the game, but it's not all over the place. It's nice to have one more area where you can sort of get this stat from. So I like that idea. Next up, though, on the list, going to be Rage that's getting a look at. This one's getting buffed. So those hunters with the crit build get a little bit more love here. This one, this is just a decreased cost from 2,500 to 2,400. So not too huge, but maybe should make it a little bit more efficient to build into this.
Yeah, and we kind of look at Rage as the introductory item to crit, where players can pick this up like as the first time they get a good amount of crit, so that when they build the Deathbringer, when they build the Poison Star, when they build any of the other crit items, you already have that solid base of crit. So bringing the cost down helps enable those builds a little bit more.
Should make that one that you want to pick up even more often. You want to get those stacks going as soon as possible. Next item on the list is going to be Talisman of Energy. This one's also getting a buff. Decreased cost from 2,250 to 2,150, so about another 100 gold adjustment, but this time on a bit more of a defensive option.
Yeah, so we looked at it at kind of like removing the passive, what it does give you health and magical protection. And there's other health and magical protections that just do what that does better at different costs that are more accessible. And so since it's on the lower end of that spectrum, we feel like we could bring the cost down so that when you want to pick this up as this kind of health and magic protection item, you can, especially when you can actually utilize that passive component that really helps you enable your team to push forward off a minion wave. So players who can find opportunities to build this into the build, they see opportunities where they need magical protection, can pick this up and feel good about it.
Yeah, we've seen in the SPL at least some people picking this up when they're going in for their like final sieges, that sort of thing. This should make it a little bit easier to maybe get that last push going there and even trying to finish off some games. So I'm liking what we're seeing here, Pon. We got some nice item recaps here taken care of today. In fact, we can take a look just at the recap of all the items we've gone over. The big one, of course, was the addition of Berserker Shield, that auto attack item over there that can help out some solo laners, maybe even some other applications, as well as we've got some other changes here. You saw Gem of Isolation getting a little bit of a nerf, but Mystical Mail, Rage, and Talisman of Energy all getting buffed. Those items can be just a little bit stronger. But Pon, it's not just items that we're taking a look at today. We got some gods that we want to do, and we'll start from the beginning with the A's up here with Agni. It looks like Agni is getting a little bit of a nerf here in this one, in particular towards rain fire. That's going to be the ultimate, obviously. Decreased damage from 160, 195, 230, 265, 300. Looks like it's starting off at 140, going all the way back up through 300. So it's a nerf sort of at that top end, at the very beginning, but at the end, you'll still have that same amount of damage.
Exactly. And so I think the big thing here is to focus on is Agni has kind of fallen into a pretty good spot where people actually feel like he's actually doing well.
Yes.
Which is kind of rare for him. He's always seen as this kind of average character that fills the meta roles when he needs to. But he's consistently stayed in a very top spot for a while, and he's been slowly climbing popularity, win rate, ban rate. And so the big thing we looked at was his level 5 pressure. Once he gets that level 5 pressure, the jungle comes ganks, you get bombed immediately for a ton of damage, and you die. So we're decreasing that damage a little bit, but letting him scale at the same point because we feel like his late game is in a pretty solid place overall. I think the other thing to touch on here is the common suggested nerf for Agni is actually a mana cost reduction on this ability, or mana cost adding it to this ability. And so one reason why he didn't want to do that was he's kind of bounced around the playstyle he has of not having mana on the ultimate. For example, he always kind of has to combo his abilities with the Noxious Fumes, as well as it's kind of a unique aspect of Agni, a unique thing about that ability that it doesn't cost mana. You can use it when you use the charges. The charges are your limiting factor, not mana. And so we wanted to preserve that without making him too frustrating in other modes, or not other modes, and without being too frustrating to deal with in the early game. Right. And so the big thing here is decreased early game damage, helps players deal with him early on when that's his most prevalent state, and then his late game can scale to where it currently does, which we feel was in a pretty good spot.
So he should still be, fairly strong in the mid game. It looks like at third rank, you're really only losing about 10 power from it. It's really just that initial rank or two where I feel like it's really you're gonna be able to feel it. But other than that, you should still feel pretty comfortable on the Agni.
Yep, overall.
So. Well, we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the next one here. We're going to be Opwash, actually getting a nerf this time. That might come to surprise to some of you, but if you're in these other modes, then maybe it won't be coming as a surprise. Joust, Assault, those sorts of places, Opwash can be really a nightmare to deal with.
Well, what's interesting is actually all over the place he's actually doing really well, especially since we gave him his more anti-heal focus on his ultimate. Right. That helps him fill this kind of conquest niche that he didn't really have before. And so that way when you pick him, you're very clearly sending a message of, I'm picking a widespread anti-heal, I want to punish healers. Right. And that's pretty healthy for him to be. But in those situations, we brought him way above in other modes.
Right.
Assault, Joust, Clash, even in Arena. We're seeing a lot of those modes have a really hard time against him. And so we're looking to do targeted nerfs to bring him down in those modes, but not nerfs that are necessarily going to undo what we've done for him in Conquest.
Well, let's go through them a little bit and talk about some of those changes. First, Undead Surge. That's getting an increased cooldown from 12 seconds to 14 seconds, so a little bit longer in between when you'll be able to throw those corpses out. The corpse explosion itself is getting quite a few changes, it looks like here.
Well, so this is interesting.
Yeah, talk to me about this.
This is actually a bit confusing for a little bit when we were discussing this. This was a change we actually did in 5.13, but we didn't.
Oh, so it's already done.
So it's already there. He already has this in live. This is what people have been playing with since 5.13. It was a proposed nerf that we were going to do in 5.13, and through the 5.13 shuffle, we were planning to undo it, but we never actually did. But it's there, and we feel like it's actually appropriate, so we're going to keep it there. His stats overall are showing that he's doing very well with this nerf in place.
Well, there you go. That damage decrease that you're seeing on our screen, that's already in the. You've been playing with it, so now at least you should know about a little bit more. So that one's already happening. But one other change here was Empty the Crypts. This one had the cooldown increase from 90 seconds to 100 seconds. I imagine since it's persisting now, it feels like it's a lot more just have it out there less often.
Yeah, the amount of zone control this ability provides now, the amount of anti-heal it provides, it's a much stronger effect than our traditional 90-second ultimates. So we're just bumping up to 100 so that when Opwash chooses to play this down, if you are able to avoid it successfully or be able to get out of it successfully and kind of like wait back, you have more opportunity to get onto Opwash before he gets it back again.
What a world we're in, huh? Opwash. Getting some nerfs out here after a while, but he's been strong for a while, so I like that we're seeing these. But let's move on to the next god here, Pawn. Going to be a hunter we're looking at this time. Apollo actually getting a little bit of love on this one. Serenade is getting, looks like getting an increase to the mesmerized duration. This is a pretty big deal, I feel like. It started off at 0.7, 1.1, 1.5, 1.9, 2.3. Now it's going to be 1.1, 1.4, 1.7, 2 seconds, and then 2.3. So pretty substantial towards the beginning.
Yep. So I think the big thing here is we gave Apollo his knockback up again on his ultimate.
Right.
We watched how he performed with that as players tried to learn it and trying to utilize it, and it didn't really move him in any substantial way, especially one that we were hoping for to bring him kind of more up into line with other hunters. And so we kind of looked at what Apollo brings uniquely to the table, and that's is kind of these extra utility aspects of his kit. So Serenade, the Mesmerize, is a very powerful CC effect, but the early ranks was 0.7 seconds, and it was very hard to actually utilize well, and like the way Mesmerizes traditionally are, which is you pop it, everyone stops attacking to set up what they want to do, and then they coordinate attack together. 0.7 seconds is just a bit too short for that, as well as the attacks, or not the attack, the movement speed portion of the moves. We're going to bring up at the early levels as well so that players can utilize that movement speed early on in the game. Because even when you hit an opponent with it and you get the buff yourself, it was only a 10% movement swing, which traditionally other abilities have stronger movement swings, especially at the first ranks.
That's right. This increase in movement speed on the moves being increased from 5, 10, 15, 20 to 25% to 15, 17.5, 20, 22.5, 25%. Again, both of these are going to be the same at that max rank. It's just early on when these are getting a little bit of love. And as you said, now Mesmerize, or the Serenade rather, should be a little bit easier of a tool for Apollo to get the most out of in those earlier ranks. So some love going his way. Hopefully we'll see some more chariots flying around now after this change. But next, we'll move on to the next god that's getting a little bit of change here. It's going to be Chalk this time. Also is getting a buff. And this time it looks like Overflow is the one that's going to be changing.
Yes.
Why do we take a look here at Chalk?
So Overflow as a passive was just a bit kind of generic. It provided a strong effect, but you didn't really play around it too much, and if you did, it wasn't the most impactful thing to play around. And so we wanted to give it a bit more oomph in decision making when it comes to players utilizing this. Right. So when you have 5 stacks and you use an ability, that ability is basically free mana cost. We've now added to that, so it'll still do that, but at 5 charges, the ability you choose to spend that free mana on is also going to be reduced by 2 seconds. So if you want to throw your axe down faster, use the charges on your axe. If you want to do the teleport and spin to get the protections faster, use that. If you want to rain more often, use the rain on that charge. And so that gives an extra level of decision making to this ability, as well as helping Chalk players overall, especially the Chalk players who can use Chalk well, to be successful.
It should help them out quite a bit. Not only is it going to be cast for free like they already have, but you're going to have it back up even sooner to get back into the fray. And that's one of those things. Chalk kind of feels like one of the gods that does almost enough. So maybe this help pushes him over that edge a little bit, right? He's right up at that line, it feels like, but he's not the only warrior. It's getting a little bit of love. Sun Wukong is also going to be getting some changes here, and quite some significant ones to a couple abilities. Before we go into them specifically, do you want to talk to me about why we want to adjust Sun Wukong here?
Sun Wukong is a character that kind of goes in cycles of being really strong and then being kind of out of the meta for a while.
That feels right. Yeah.
And he's kind of in that slump of not being necessarily in the meta right now. He has some opportunities to come in, but not as much as we were hoping for. And so we're going to give him some additional utility, but we want to be careful about how we give that utility. If we, like, for example, reduce the cooldown on the one, it becomes this really annoying poke tool that you're just constantly being hit by with a little counterplay. Having that on the long cooldown means that you're dealing with that less often. You have more opportunities to get in on some Wukong, and that promotes a more healthy playstyle. So, for example, we're not increasing or decreasing the cooldown on the 1. We've looked kind of at our previous nerfs and tried to target these ones specifically to give him a little bit of love, but not push him over the edge.
That's right. The way that we sort of handled that was that he does the bonus damage to minions in the jungle camp, which I like very much, and that's what this changes here as well. It increased on the Magic Cudgel the bonus damage to those minions in jungle camps from 25% to 30%, so his clear speed should be a little bit higher now, able to secure his own buffs a little bit easier, and outclear some of those opponents that he has to deal with in lane. Master's Will's getting the decreased cooldown from 12 seconds to 10 seconds, and then 72 transformations, specifically the Ox form, is just getting that increased damage. Again, that's more towards the front end, where it goes from 50, 90, 130, 170, 210 to 70, 105, 140, 175, 210.
Yep, and so Master's Will is an ability that you actually have to get really close in to utilize well, which is promotes kind of the more warrior brawler style, so we like that cooldown reduction. He's being rewarded for constantly being in the thick of the team fight and getting multiple ones of these off. As well as Ox form, the early damage was very low, which it is a lower damaging ability as a whole, which is why especially its base damage is low and it doesn't scale to nearly as high as, for example, Tiger or any of the other abilities. But 50 was a bit too low. It became a weird point where if you tried to actually spend a point to get it, you were often like hurting yourself, even in situations where it was good, like to disrupt a channeled ability by knocking them up. You would often actually be in a worse spot for having spent that point, especially in 1, 2, 3, than if you had just actually spent the extra point in the Magic Cudgel or the Slam.
Right.
Or no, Magic Cudgel or Master's Will.
Like, you've made the right choice in the matchup where you're interrupting, but you're losing damage overall for it, right? So this way, if you're kind of getting that counterplay or doing the right choices, you can feel a little bit more rewarded for it. So I definitely like that idea there on the Sun Wukong buff. We'll see a little bit more of him, I imagine. But I liked these with Poseidon. This one's considered kind of, I guess, a fixed buff where there are some just buffs in here as well, but it's kind of just some change on it. We'll go through them, Pon, and you can tell me afterwards what happened here. The first one, we fixed an issue with Tidal Surge, where the moving deployable, which causes collision height to be shorter than intended, so that's a little bit more efficiently, but also that ties in with the change to Kraken, where we normalize the knock-up height of this. So you could rank it up and change the knock-up height from this one, right? Is what's happening.
So multiple things that were weird here. One was the knock-up of the ultimate, which feels like a great setup for the one, was often not, because you'd knock them up and then the Tidal Surge would go underneath.
It'd be like too high.
Yeah, and especially the effects. Actually, the effects are low to the ground, so it makes sense a little bit. If you get knocked too high, the effects go underneath you don't get hit. The actual collision box is actually lower than those effects, so you're basically being extra punished. Now they better match that height, so it's more often that you'll be able to actually land this. As well as we've normalized the knock-up height, which was kind of just this weird extra thing you had to know. For example, if you had the rank 1 of the ultimate, you would actually often still hit your Tidal Surge, but late game, you'd start missing it, and it felt like this inconsistent experience. Now it is consistent. It does make it a little bit stronger in the early game, because the knock-up height is going to be higher, therefore you're knocked up longer. It's a little bit down on the late game, but the difference between those knock-up heights is going to be pretty minimal in terms of like what you'll notice when you play.
Yeah, the skill is it was leveling up. It started at 300, 325, 350, 375, 400. Now it's just 375 all the time. So you should be able to get the same timing consistently throughout the game to always make sure you're able to follow a Tidal Surge. But that's a bit of an interesting one. You just kind of had to know before to time it slightly differently, but now you should be able to consistently hit all those abilities.
Yep. Once you learn it, you've learned it. Good job. You've executed on it well.
Should be a little bit more success than with some of those Poseidons out there. Hopefully, there wasn't too much frustration for you, but now you can definitely hit it every single time. But that is going to do it for the gods. Let's go take a look at all the changes that we've made to them. Again, Apollo, Chak, Wukong, and Poseidon all getting a little bit of love. Poseidon specifically more just making things a little bit more consistent. And then Agni and Apwash getting a little bit toned down. Apwash, was getting a little bit too strong in all the modes, and Agni getting a little bit of change there to the Rainfire.
Yep. Overall, this should help those characters out perform a little bit better, or the characters who are performing help players feel a little less frustrated fighting against them. And we'll keep all the feedback in mind. We'll see how it plays out. Look at 5.17 to make any adjustments if needed.
It was nice working with you here, Pon. Getting to do this. Yeah, who needs that aggro guy? He didn't even need to come back the way that things went here today. But we'll get it back over to the Savage, the Gambler himself on the casual set.
So many names, and yet I'm still here doing the same old thing, eh? Well, if you missed the balance and update section, the one thing you really need to know is that Apollo will be in every single game buying Berserker's Shield. Or will he? We'll find out. Now, though, turning to the guests on the set here, we're going to be having Isaiah and Alvarin joining us from Esports and Community. How are you guys doing?
Doing very well. How about you, Hindu?
I'm not too bad. I can't complain too much. It's nice to be on the casual set again, not strapped behind the desk.
Right, you guys got some nice, comfy couches over here.
It's not so bad. It's not so bad. Alvarin, first of all, then, what have we got going on in Esports?
We have the fall split starting next week. We kick things off this coming Monday, 11 a.m., SMITE Console League. And then the SPL starts in full on Tuesday at 1 p.m.
Okay, so we've got a lot to look forward to in terms of esports then coming forward. Obviously on console as well, remember, PlayStation 4 is going to be available on Mondays as well, not just Xbox, so even more links coming to you. But there's a little look at the first week of the SPL. Is anything stand out to you two at all in those?
Definitely game 1 on Tuesday, Energy versus Rival. It's going to be a good one.
That's a great way to kick off a split.
That early. Yeah. I don't know how it always ends up falls that we put two of the best teams together on the first day, but it's good
Shout
that
out
the
to
matches
League Ops,
work
I
out that
guess.
way. But not only that with the esports, what else have you got from the Alpha?
We also have HRX coming up. It is the fall split. It is the last split of the year.
We're getting
and we
so
are
close.
So close. So much closer. We are barreling towards the World Championships.
Closer than
tickets
usual.
are available now. So you should definitely get them while they're hot. You can head over to highresexpo.com to pick those up.
I don't need to be here. You guys can do this without me. It's quite easy.
Right.
Yeah, highresexpo.com. Don't forget, though, we are currently selling as well on and off the after party tickets. So keep your eyes peeled for those after party tickets that will go up at relative times to purchase there, especially after the party. So enough about esports. We can do that all the time. Community, what's going on?
Well, not enough about esports yet. We got a couple of fan favorite esports players coming up in 5/16.
We do?
The Spring Fling donation reward, Jeff Hinla, Barracuda announcer pack coming in 5/16. Tina gave me a preview earlier, and it's an instant equip for me. I have to have it.
So we don't have it available on this now, right? Just so you know, but I'm pretty sure you'll get a leak of it sooner or later.
Definitely.
Or it'll be on the PTS too. But Jeff and Barrow announcer pack.
Yes, it's hype.
Is it
so
good?
hype. Yeah, it's so good.
I'm so excited.
Okay. I'm excited to see what lines they put in themselves, and because I know they're asking the community for some lines too. So we'll see how that works on. And talking about community, stream days coming again.
That's right. A new adventure means a new community stream day. So next Tuesday, all you have to do is pick your favorite streaming platform, Mixer, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, stream the new SMITE adventure, and then submit our form. Send us your VOD link, and we'll send you skin codes. It's that easy.
Just stream the game or streaming the adventure?
Streaming the adventure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to check, because I like to stream.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm a conquest
You got to
guy,
be streaming the adventure. Ajax is super excited about this event. I can't get him to calm down around the office.
Now that's on Tuesday. We can get that if you want to stream the game there and earn yourself some freebies. But play up weekend.
Yeah, this weekend, grab your friends, party up, earn double rewards. 2 times favor worshippers and XP just for playing in a party.
Alvarin, we saw you play a little bit of Changar in a game, a Skillshot versus pros.
If you can call that playing,
yes.
yes.
Playing some more of that? Is that going to work out well?
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah?
I got to prep for the split, but
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You do.
Yep.
Five, obviously, players you were playing with consistently. You could go and make a team with them again.
I could.
Okay. Thanks for joining me, though, guys. Nice and quick and to the point. It's time, though, to move on to the skin section. Maybe I'll show you a little bit. I don't know. What skin shall I look at for a minute? Let's look at Bellona.
I was reborn from the flames of the Elder Dragons. They chose me to rally the strong and righteous and fight for all that is just at any cost. I, Divine Dragon Bellona, have arrived.
Well, there's your first little look at the Bellona skin. We'll dive into it a little bit later on. However, the one thing that you got to look forward to, though, is all the other skins before that. What I'll do, first of all, is introduce the people joining me on the set as per usual. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. This is what happened to Aggro that time when he did it, didn't he? He just started coughing around me. Ben, Tina, and of course, John joined us. How you guys doing?
Good.
How you doing, man?
What is that?
This is bread. Bread is my stress relief baguette.
It's a baguette.
So it's a loaf.
Do you want to feel it?
You're pinching a loaf
Wanna
on screen
feel
right
him?
now. Is that what's happening?
You want to
here?
feel him?
I have been off this section for a few weeks, and now
wanna feel
you're on
him?
set touching
Feel
bread up.
him. Okay.
Let's get in game.
He
Let's
smells
get on
good
with it.
too.
Vulcan skin. You guys have wanted it. Here it is. Finally, community
Yes!
requested. How much work has gone into this?
a lot.
Yeah, a good bit. I mean, it's
All the spices, man. All the spices.
the whole team really went the extra mile on this one.
They can't see your hand gesture.
Tina, we're not on the screen right now. You just waving your hand
No one can
around
see it.
does not make any sense to those people at home. Oh, look at the oven in the background. Okay. On the back, he's got an oven now. I like that.
So we made sure that the concept was done by Rob Draws, and the fans loved it. So we wanted to make sure that we stayed as close to that concept as possible and bring it into the game.
So he's got a pizzeria, is what we're going with here. Then, right?
Uh-huh.
On his back.
Look at that meat sauce.
Yeah, dude.
It's saucy.
It is saucy. Saucy.
That makes a lot of sense. And the backfire too. Ooh.
Yeah.
There we go.
Is that like tomato sauce is firing? Or tomato sauce?
It's
I
like
don't know how you guys
it's
say it.
that
Tomato.
mixed with some heat and stuff like
Tomato, I'm
that.
sorry. I'm too posh for this show.
Check out the
New turret, a little meat grinder.
It's throwing like meatballs or something.
yeah.
Oh, that's the next one. That's the meatball.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
real meatball.
It's there.
Show me the real meatball. That's what I'm after. Oh, I like the targeter on that
Oh
too.
my god.
There it is. Look at all the sauce.
With the
So, for
spaghetti-
anyone who doesn't know, the Chef Vulcan skin actually did originate because people used to call the third ability a meatball because that's what it
Yep.
looked like. And ever since then, everyone's always wanted this Chef Vulcan skin, and the
Now we have
community
it.
kept asking, and now we finally done it.
now it's history.
The question is, though, what's the ultimate look? I love how it looks like a dining room floor, like the targeter of the ultimate team.
Oh yeah, the effects team got really
The
creative for
secret
this.
sauce, dude.
There's nothing better than a bit of secret sauce, 18 now.
So the missiles are cans of spaghetti sauce.
Oh, what, sorry?
The missiles? Cans of spaghetti sauce.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, it is!
If you get up close, there's even like a Chef Vulcan like brand logo on the side and everything. Might be hard to see, but
Maybe you could slow it down. Yeah.
his face is on the
Yeah,
side and everything.
Pon.
I was about to
He's doing
call
it.
Pon out then, because he should be able to do that tech for
He's
us,
doing
hopefully.
it. Yeah, here we go.
Can he track the missiles? That's the question.
Oh, look at it!
Pon's a
Catch it.
wizard.
Oh my god, he's getting good. He's getting good.
Secret sauce.
NA cameraman, please.
Oh, that's
Pon's
it's like
really good at
spitting
that.
out
Yeah,
like
That is too much
cheese.
detail on those cans that you can barely see during
We
it.
want him to go. We want to come correct.
You
with this one.
artists go way too hard. Like,
going
no
the
one's going to
extra
see
mile.
those little written details. It's great.
They just saw him though.
Well, I do know it's got a VXG as well,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, dude.
What's this
Oh, he has a
VXG?
multitude of stuff.
There's a whole pizza.
You can
There
run
you
around
go.
with a pizza.
He's flipping the pizza, and you can run across the map with it.
30 minutes or less, or you lose the match.
I like that one. I like that line. That's a good one. What else is this to do with this one? I heard there's also maybe a recall animation or something.
The brand new recall as well.
I mean,
Whoops.
That's really good.
like, we slipped that one off as well. Well, I think the only other thing on this is the voice pack. Oh, the pinch and salt.
Pinching salt.
The
They asked for it.
That's what that was.
It seems you want to be tenderized.
Perfect.
Community asked for it. They got
Wow!
I'm glad the voice pack sounds exactly as expected. it to for a show.
Bellissimo! I am the People's Vulcan. I am the People's Vulcan. You are one juicy meatball. Somebody touch my spaghetti. Attack middle lane. Attack right lane. Attack the Titan. You playing well is like a good filet mignon. Rare.
Well, you'll get Vulcan, his tenderizer, and all that available in the next patch. Now, just so you guys know, this skin will be discounted, I've got here, only for the duration of 5.16. So as soon as this patch comes out, get your Vulcan skin straight away, and you'll get yourself a nice little discount for doing so as well, and can run around with pizzas.
Yeah,
for
and
days.
thanks for the community for helping me write this because it's like 95% community written.
Everything.
All those
voice- all the voice
lines.
lines?
This
Yeah.
is purely for
Yeah.
the community. Yeah.
I snuck in some ally tribute into it too.
Oh,
so-
really?
This is definitely a community love letter.
I'll have to listen into that for sure. I
Yes,
did hear one or two
sure.
before I landed there already. Moving on then to Titanium Tracker Jabalonke is the next one on the list today. Now this is one of these styles that we've been doing a little bit more of here or there. I feel like it goes kind of with the Odin and the Zeus skin we've released recently. It's kind of like making that sort of...
So this is kind of very similar to those, but
Yeah.
this we add a little bit of fashion on top of it to try to like just add a little more flavor for this one. So it's kind of like a modern ninja. So he's got like some well, maybe more like a futuristic one, but it's got some modern kind of clothing, some like techie stuff, but then it's also a cyborgy kind of ninja dude.
Why the scarf out of interest? The scarf's really interesting because like the only piece I've ever associated with the scarf has always been Naja. You know, 'cause it's the sash, but with this, I like
it helps
the flow.
exaggerate like the movements, right? Like ninjas, like the scarf stuff just really helps sell kind of the flow when you do animation and stuff like that. So we thought it was cool to add.
Makes him look
and it's
like
very
he's
interesting looking.
moving
cool
quicker
pattern
too.
going down it.
Let's see what the basics look like. And the embolers too.
Yeah, they're more like shurikens now.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Poison darts on top of that. I love the blue effects. It's nice. Stands out clear. And of course the ultimate too. Darkest of Night. All the effects at the end are nice.
The little
The
grid
blue.
walls. Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool.
That's sick.
Okay, that's good. We'll move on to the voice pack then for it. You guys were not very talkative during that one at all. Like
We want the fans to hear
you
the
would,
stuff.
okay. See, that's what happens
They
because everyone's like,
always
no,
say,
shut
"Let
up
us
so we
hear
can
They
the
get
hear.
voice
mad at us for
lines."
talking, so we, you guys enjoy.
Let's have a listen to that voice pack.
Woo! Attack left lane. Attack right lane. Attack the Titan. Defend. Woo! Top notch. Incredible skill. I'm the best there's ever been. Don't blink. You might miss your own death. You thought you could stop me. By yourself. What do you get when you cross a ninja? Same as women, you just throw them over your shoulder. Never mind. Oh, did you mean live ever cross a ninja?
That was two voice lines together, guys. Don't get confused.
What is a ninja's favorite drink?
Oh my gosh, get me out. Moving on swiftly after that line. Tina, that was something to do with you for sure. Midnight Raven Isis, the masquerade ball is here.
I mean, this card art is gorgeous.
The card art's amazing.
Yeah, the card art's really great.
And in game, it actually looks really solid too, like with how this has come together here. So what's it? Obviously the theme is a masquerade ball here, right?
Yep.
And what was the like inspiration behind this? Where do we get the idea from? Is it because like she's a regal girl anyways, our Isis?
We saw the the wings she has, and we're like, we're thinking ravens and stuff like that. We're like, what could be something really cool to have added to that kind of theme, a masquerade kind of thing, right? So we started coming up with some cool designs, and as a result, like one of our newest concept artists, Kiana Ham, she worked on it. She killed it, and it's like a really like interesting kind of take on her. I think it's a little modern, but I think it looks really nice.
Yeah, and Isis actually is portrayed as a goddess of the moon, so it works out. The midnight moon kind of theme.
And I think some of these abilities, you'll be able to see some moons involved in them, that's for sure. Obviously, that's a Wingus too, but looks like planets there. I know the two, definitely the Spirit Ball looks like a giant moon. I had a little look at this earlier on. It's like a moon of death.
I like that
Huge
little
moon of
note,
death.
that little
just like-
keyboard note.
Death! This is going to
And the
get it
moon
with you as
pops
well.
up again.
That's exactly what it is. Obviously, it has silence too. You don't know, it's a protection shred.
Can you not?
But it also gives it to herself. Very OP ability. And finally, the ultimate. Is that staff in the middle she's got there?
Yeah, she actually deploys her staff
Oh, that's
for her
cool.
ultimate, and she leaves it there. So
Actually throws the staff down.
yeah, so she doesn't hold her staff right now.
Oh, and the
until-
staff disappears. Yeah,
Yes,
that's really cool.
Until it's done and it comes back.
That's dope.
Yeah, the animations have really changed because like some of the old school animations we see from season 1, season 2,
Oh, yeah.
like they'd still have the spear in the hand or whatever, and now like it actually goes away during
Yeah,
those
each
segments too.
patchman, we're trying to go back and revisit these old gods and really up the quality on them.
Well, this Raven Isis skin will be available in the next patch. Let's have a listen to that voice pipe that comes along with it.
Attack left lane. Attack right lane. Defend. Fabulous. So you can dance. I'm the life of the ball. No, thank you. I would not like to dance with you. You aren't fooling anyone with that mask. I know who you are. I love masquerade balls. I don't have to worry about seeing your face. What do you get when you cross a raven with a moon goddess? A raven lunatic.
Okay, well,
VXG too.
We do have a
There is
VXG
a
for this
VXG for
if
this?
Pawn
Yeah,
is
yeah.
hooked up. There we go.
Oh, she's riding the moon.
So the stars, the sky box and everything does change. FX team killed it on this one.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the
animation
stars in the sky.
is done by Mel.
It's really cool.
Does,
She sits
does
on
that
the moon, yeah.
skyline change for everybody, kind of like the Anubis skins do when they use the ultimates?
I believe everyone should
think
be
so,
able to
yeah.
see that.
That's cool. All right, that looks really different. It's like a nighttime version of Conquest there. And that happens in every game mode too, I guess. So that's really cool.
Whoa. That is really cool.
I could almost just watch that for a few minutes quite
I want
happily.
to see her
there.
from the front. Pawn, can we see her from the front, please?
She waves at you
Yeah.
and stuff like
Oh,
that.
really?
Is she waving as she goes around? What up? Oh, she's like the Queen of
really
England.
neat. Oh, she
Hello,
blows you a
hello,
kiss.
lovely day.
Oh.
Don't mind me sitting on my moon.
That's
the way it's
really
going to
cute.
be.
Yeah.
All right, next up then. Have we gone through everything here? Yeah, we did. I would just make sure. I've not done skins in a while. I'm like, have I
Good,
forgot
man. You're
something?
doing
Oh,
great.
no.
Oh, this is one of my
The
favorites.
Admiral is upon us.
This is pretty crazy.
yes.
Dude, it's pretty badass.
Has arrived. What is that golden dragon in the background? I'm sure we'll get to that in a
Sure,
minute.
it's a dragon.
It's a
It-
dragon.
yeah,
Okay,
I don't
that's
know.
good. I'm just making sure.
See the dragon head
So
right
he's still using a rapier. I was having this conversation about Pompon earlier about whether or not it was, a different weapon to do with pirates or cutlass. But obviously cutlasses are a little bit curved. So
He's
it's
not
the
really
case
a
here.
pirate, though.
Is he not?
No.
I
He's,
mean,
He's
you're
an
right. You're
admiral,
right.
yeah.
He's an admiral.
he's a good guy. Yeah.
It was an evil Al Kwong that it would be a
Yeah.
pirate ship Al Kwong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an admiral. It's a good
This is
guy.
like
Okay.
his
Okay.
first good guy skin. Yeah.
Yeah. And
But
for
it feels
human
weird.
skin.
Al Kwong is a
He's
good
human.
guy.
Yes, the first
Yeah,
skin that
this
he's
is-
human.
Yep.
Yo, look at those water effects.
Yeah.
They're really nice. You remind me a little bit of the Volcano Hebo. I don't know what the name of the skin is. The Hebo with the volcanic. So the
Heblo?
colors are obviously blue instead of
Yeah,
red.
yeah,
but
yeah, for sure.
It has that tech to it. It feels like.
Yep.
Oh, those dragons are so pretty. I don't really nerd out on skins that much, but like certain animations and stuff, I'm
Wait
like,
till you see.
I like these.
Wait till you see what's coming up next, man.
Yeah. You just wait, man. You just wait.
What's next?
Let's do it.
I mean, it's just a
Give us
dude
the-
with a sword and some dragons and
There
he
you go. You gotta
beats
get
you
them
up
down.
and executes you and.
Here
Here you go.
Oh my God, he's on a boat!
He's on a boat.
And he's on the boat.
He's
right in the front.
He's like on the front of the
On
boat.
a
dude.
boat. If you get this skin, guys, you just got to play Lonely Island on cooldown the whole time when you're going
We were gonna
around.
put that in
It's
the
such a
in the
great
sound
skin,
effects.
dude.
We thought it'd be trouble if we did.
I just want you all to realize as well that this is our very first pay to win skin. As you land in this boat form, it does do triple damage because it is a boat crashing into you. So that is what you'd expect. So
Yeah, we were super excited to find something thematic for the skin that's not a dragon, right?
Sure.
Just another dragon. So he's
I mean,
an
what
admiral,
el-
put him on
It
a
looks
boat.
really cool in the
technically,
sky.
it's a dragon boat. It's got a
Exactly.
dragon head.
Dragon
in it.
front.
So
Yeah, we had to redo the entire set of animation for this jersey. He killed it on it. And
Yay.
this skin looks
felt
absolutely
totally
amazing.
cool.
This skin looks really, really
Really
fun.
amazing, yeah.
Let's have a little listen to this voice pack, man.
Yes. Attack left lane. Attack right lane. Attack middle lane. Defend. Spectacular. You're commander material. Call me Admiral. You can try and commandeer my ship. Emphasis on try. Pirates are never welcome on board. So I was eating alphabet soup, and all of a sudden, I found all 7 C's.
Oh
Man.
nice. I was waiting for it. Where's the hook?
Oh my goodness me. For those who are confused in chat right now as well, we played the song I'm on a Boat. It's not in the game, chat. Stop being silly. That's the politest word I could use on air right then of silly. The production played Lonely Island for them as the skin came out.
No.
And now everyone's tweaking out that it's actually in the game. When really,
It's not in the
no.
game.
Copyright laws would technically prevent us from doing that.
I have an interesting fact. So if you guys ever watched Harlock Space Pirate, I think it's called Harlock
Captain,
Space
yeah.
Pirate. He's the guy, David Matranga, who voiced this skin as well. So
Oh, okay. So we did the voice line for that, and he's also been in. Okay,
like he's the main character. He's Harlock.
gotcha.
Yeah.
See, I don't watch that much anime or cartoony stuff,
It's-
so I don't.
It's not. This
never
one's not.
gets
It's
references.
it's an animated movie.
Okay.
It's like Pixar kind of, but not, but darker.
Okay. And that's the same voice.
I think it's based on anime though.
Yeah, I think so too.
2 more skins to go, boys and girls. Let's move it along then to Heat Sink Pele. This looks really good. I mean, she's only just come out and she's already got a pretty badass skin here.
Yeah.
So what's the idea behind this one?
We want to do something sci-fi and cool. we saw a lot of like cool color stuff with their base, and we're like, what if we change those colors to be like more like sci-fi and like neons and stuff like that?
I like the addition of the visor. Like, just the visor being added to it just makes it a little bit more so of like more interesting. You could have not had the visor, but I don't think it would have sold it as well. You know,
it's hard to do visors that cost more material wise. We don't have visors everywhere, so we went the extra mile with this one.
Love the look of this skin. It looks absolutely.
And we made sure that in this one, like usually she has a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
We try to really make it a little bit played down so that when she does have that ability hit, like you'll see it really flare up.
They look great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I've still not learned the ability names for Pele yet, so I'm not going to go through them, boys and girls at home. I'm sorry. But I do know that does a lot of damage and knocks.
These effects are so cool. Yeah.
It looks really good. It's almost a completely
sounds,
different
the
Pele
sounds are
already.
getting me right there, man.
It's such a departure from the original Pele, who's like organic and.
And that's why I'm so surprised with it being so new as well.
Yeah.
Like, we don't normally do such big changes to it so quickly, but this looks amazing. That's obviously a speed steroid, the extra damage. And of course, it's going to have the ultimate too. Just see it ticking away, those little sparks connecting. The trail's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I bring the pain.
That was the wrong way, Pon. You want to aim it at people. There we go.
Whoa.
It's like a giant thunderstorm. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Boom. That's cool.
That is really cool. What do you want to do first? Voice pack or I heard it's got a VXG.
It also has a VXG.
What do you prefer?
Let's go ahead and do the VXG.
Yeah, VXG. Oh.
Okay.
So this is really cool. So our animator Ali, who worked on this, kind of pitched the idea of free line skating, which I didn't really know was a thing, and then it looked really cool on it. So it's a rollerblade.
So she's kind of taking her blades and put them on her feet.
Yeah.
That's cool. And she just do that all around the map too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's going to be pizzas everywhere and moons
What a
and now
patch,
This patch
skating.
just has VXGs everywhere, man.
Everyone's getting VXGs
That is.
now.
This is really cool. It's it's actually really relaxing to just watch her like glide everywhere. Honestly.
To be honest, if you just saw it at the corner of your eye running through the jungle, you might think
Look,
it was
and you can use
nausea.
your speed buff with it.
Yeah.
The skate,
This is two Najas in one patch.
Two Najas in one patch. Yeah, I've got so many references to it.
It's good.
Maybe he's getting a buff next patch. Who knows? Well, let's move on then to the voice pack for the Pele skin before we move on to the final skin we've got to show you today.
Attack left lane. Attack right lane. Attack! Attack the Titan! Defend! Woot woot woot! You are pretty alright. Absolutely legendary. Aren't I just the best? Do not get on my nerves. My anger is quick and explosive. This thing is covering a lot of my face, right? So how does rain still get in my eye? Money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys so much other stuff.
It's got a very stern voice to this one, hasn't it? Where she's very serious about it, but at the same time,
She'll
when things
kill
are
you.
going well, she'll be happy.
Yeah.
Is what you'll look forward to in that. That's Heatsink Pele. That'll be available in the next patch. And last, but certainly not least, you've all been waiting for it. It's finally here. It's the new Tier 5 skin, Divine Dragon Bellona.
It is time.
This is the ultimate reward from the Divine Uprising. Wow. We've already seen little clips of this. I'm really excited. I've not actually seen it in game myself yet, so this is my first time seeing it too.
Oh.
And I believe it changes based off stance, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, on the ability
That's
that you use.
crazy.
Yeah.
So
Tell me through the design choices of what we went for and where, what was the reason for each, I guess.
So the whole thing behind this is we wanted to have her be like a champion for these kind of like dragons. So like with each stance change, we wanted to have like a different kind of dragon form that she works for. So you'll see as we go through the different types, there's like a hammer one, there's like the whip, and they all kind of have different colors and different themes to be like an avatar for these different dragons.
Amazing.
Yeah. Her shield's dope.
You can just put Ares in that right now and feel at home as well. Oh, it's hammer time.
This one's a favorite.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, upon slow-mo, letting you just absorb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
sometimes
the
you don't need
detail
words.
work.
Just
Yeah,
watch the animations and see
there's
how
so
amazing
much
it
work
looks. I
that
love
went
the
into
flaming
like all
hammer.
three different models
Yeah,
here,
dude.
and more.
That's his favorite one.
Yeah, this is my favorite.
My favorite's green.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Your favorite's green.
My favorite's green.
Which one's green? I've always seen
Green's
blue and red.
flail.
Oh, it's
That one.
Scourge time. Okay.
She really reminds me of a dragon. And she's really horny. Horns.
Horns are always important.
Yes, she has
To
horns.
signify
those
dragons.
horns.
That's what it's going to be.
So we try to make sure that each of the kind of the visuals of each of these felt appropriate for like the like there's the whip's like more fast and like it's like it looks more like lacerated, more critical strike kind of feel to it. So we made sure that she felt a little more nimble and quicker and agile, but still like had aggressive shapes on her. With the shield and stuff, we want to go with more of like a traditional kind of like armored warrior kind of person, and then with the hammer, we wanted to make sure it felt really kind of
meaty,
just real aggressive.
Yes, meaty.
Yeah, she has
Big
a full
hits,
helm.
big swing.
It doesn't show the
Yeah.
face. Yeah.
God, those just on their own, that's amazing how quickly they transform fluidly as well.
Yeah. There was a lot of work put into making that happen too.
I can imagine that's probably the difficult thing, because like such a quick animation to be able to make it turn and look good as it turns.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that's only one facet of it, right? I mean tech art, like Chris Miller and Jeff, like on that team, those two guys really helped carry it home.
Oh yeah.
I love the little mark of the Scourge with the disarm too. You could just see like the green effect that connects with them too, which is awesome.
It's my favorite one.
Gives you an idea about it as well.
Okay, so she's got this ability.
All right,
It's
all right.
so
She's got
dope.
Get ready.
Is this the ult
This is
already?
pretty cool. Oh, Pawn.
Oh,
On
it's
the
a dragon.
ultimate, she summons a dragon.
That's right.
That's amazing.
Breathe it in.
And she's gonna be in the sky the whole time the ult, so that's great.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
can
that's
see
the
it
other
from like everywhere. It's really cool.
Well, you know when Bellona's ult's down, then I guess that's gonna help in a lot of ways too. As the eagles really wow.
Yeah, it's Pawn. Pawn.
Pawn,
Oh my god, he's just
Pawn.
having
Dragons
like
are in the sky.
so
Oh my God.
much fun.
You can't do this in game.
You can actually do
just
this
Yeah,
in
for you
game.
guys at home, not really gonna happen. Maybe if you play one of the infinite cooldown
But
modes that are available now and again.
You can summon a dragon that you can
There
do.
may be a
what?
VXG.
Oh,
There may be
Maybe.
a VXG.
another VXG.
You just
on
spoiled
another
it
skin.
before we get to it, Tina.
Oh, I'm
what
sorry,
the heck?
I'm sorry.
We're still looking at the ultimate.
There you go.
Oh
So you actually summon a dragon
no way!
for the VXG that flies around the map,
Wait,
and then it
what?
can disappear.
It just flies around the map.
fly the
Yeah,
map.
so
All
watch.
maps. It
We'll do it
works on
again.
all maps.
See, look.
You have to hear this giant dragon's roar. Is really cool.
You can hear it, yeah.
No way. So she's literally could just spawn a dragon
Yeah.
that's just gonna chill and fly around the map.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Gold Fury when it spawns, sort of
Correct.
thing. That's crazy. And that works in every game mode too, obviously. Yeah.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
I'm really scared of the future of Smite sometimes when you guys do this stuff, you know, because like I'm like, okay, so not only are we going to have these gods all battling out in the arenas, we're also going to have these other mythical creatures flying around the
Flying
map
in the
doing
sky.
battle
Yeah,
above
yeah.
us, right? And it's like, oh well, I lost the fight on the ground, but at least my Pokemon in the sky did well, you know. That's the main thing. This skin looks awesome. What's next on this? The voice
That
pack then, I
view, though.
guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
She has 3 different
What?
personalities.
Really?
Yeah, she has 3 different voice packs.
So each stand she's
Attack
in.
left lane. Attack right lane. Attack the Titan. Yes! Proud of you. Ha! Attack left lane. Yes! Proud of you. Attack left lane.
Someone's lying to me because I don't hear 3 different voice packs right now, Tina.
You have to play like abilities and what do you call them? Jokes and stuff, and taunts. They're different.
Try the jokes and the taunts, Pom
Yeah,
Pom.
do the taunts, Pon. Do
Get
the
it
taunts.
right, Pom Pom.
You are powerless against the Dragonborn. Resistance is futile, mortal. Why are dragons large, gold, and scaly? Because if they were small, pale, and smelly, they would be humans. I would really like to avoid fighting you, mortal.
You see, like the tone. There's tonal
Sometimes I
differences.
wonder
I can
if
definitely hear
peace
it now,
between
yeah.
dragons and humans is worth fighting for. But then I remember their smug faces, and I'm ready for war.
Now, this skin comes from the Divine Uprising, which has been the event that everyone's been doing
Correct.
for and grinding for so long.
If you purchase all 3 chapters, you get this.
Okay, so all you have to do is purchase all 3 chapters and you're done. You can just get the skin. That's great. That dragon is so insane.
Hey, don't miss it. This is an amazing scene.
I just don't know what to say about this patch because there's so many good skins here. I don't even know which one's my favorite right now. I'm kind of sold on Admiral Akbar or Alcorn, really. Whenever I hear Admiral, I'm always going to say Akbar. I can't help it.
I mean,
trap,
he can say, he can lay traps
but I mean,
for you.
He's got a boat, but then Bellona's got dragons now.
Yeah.
And then Vulcan's got meatballs and
pizzas.
And pizzas. It's a rough
Every
situation.
skin, every VXG, it's worth it, man.
Crazy. Favorite skin?
Oh,
ahead.
the T5.
Yeah.
It's got to be the
Are you
T5.
kidding?
Yeah,
It's
I knew
3
that.
skins in one.
I think Chef Vulcan, honestly.
Chef Vulcan.
Oh, Chef Vulcan.
All about Bellona, man.
It's
That
all about
dragon.
Bellona.
I just
The
want
dragon.
some of that dragon VXG, you know.
Chef Vulcan also has an announcer pack.
I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, he also has
before
an
we
announcer
go,
pack.
the
So
last
I
thing
wrote one
mention
for
is
you guys.
there's going to be an announcer pack alongside the Vulcan skin, right? So you guys
it's in the
can get
it's bundled.
the interesting Chef Vulcan announcer pack with that too, as well as the Jeff and Barra announcer pack that's going to be available too. But that's all we've got time for today. Patch should be out week on Tuesday. Is that generally when it is?
Yeah, a week. Another week and Tuesday, yeah.
And the PTS will be out relatively soon. Keep an eye on social media. I'm sure they'll announce what it is. I don't want to turn around and say tonight just in case it's not. But generally, they try and get it for the weekend as well. That's it, though, from everyone here on the Casual Set and the Update Show. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time for some more action and adventures. We'll see you later. Have a good evening.